Have you ever walked out of a grocery store wondering how you spent so much? Well, it's not your fault. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on the hidden psychological playbook grocery stores use to get you to spend more. And then, we're going to show you exactly how to beat them at their own game.
Let's just kick things off with a single number. On average, you spend about 20% more than you plan to every time you go grocery shopping. And you gotta understand, this isn't some happy accident for the store. It is completely 100% by design.
And this really gets to the heart of it. A grocery store isn't just a place with food, it's designed like a casino. Everything from the lighting to the floor plan is engineered to keep you inside and spending. The house always has an edge, right? Well, today we're going to learn how to count the cards.
So how do they do it? Let's start with the most basic trap of all, the actual layout of the store. It's not random. It's what you could call an architecture of overspending.
Think about it. You walk in, and what's the first thing you see? A beautiful, vibrant wall of fresh fruits and vegetables. That's on purpose. See, when you put healthy stuff in your cart first, you feel good about yourself, which makes you feel like you've earned the junk food later. Then to get to the basics, like milk and eggs, they stick them in the farthest back corner, forcing you to walk through a maze of processed high-profit snacks and cereals. It's a journey designed for temptation.
And this is a big one. You see that giant mountain of soda stacked up at the end of an aisle, and your brain just screams, "Sale!" But here's the secret. It's probably not on sale at all. Big brands pay huge money for that prime real estate. You're not looking at a discount. You're looking at a paid advertisement designed to make you grab it without thinking.
Let me ask you something. Have you noticed how massive shopping carts have gotten over the years? They're huge. And I'll give you a hint. It has nothing to do with your convenience. There's a powerful psychological trick at play here.
Psychologists call it empty space anxiety. When you put just a few things in a giant cart, it looks kind of pathetic, right? Your subconscious brain hates that empty space and wants to fill it. So you start grabbing things you don't even need. The takeaway here is so simple. If you're just running in for a few items, grab a handbasket. I promise you'll buy less.
Okay, so we've managed to navigate the physical layout of the store, but the mind games? Oh, they don't stop there. Now we have to zoom in and decode the deceptions that are happening right there on the shelves.
This might just be the biggest secret in the entire grocery industry. We're all taught to believe that a higher price means higher quality, but for so many basic items, you look at the ingredients list, and they're identical. In fact, a lot of the time, the store brand is made in the exact same factory on the exact same equipment as the fancy name brand. The only real difference is the price. When you buy the name brand, you're not paying for better food. You're just paying for their logo and their TV commercials.
And we are not talking about saving a few cents here. Just by making the simple switch to store brands for your pantry staples, things like flour, sugar, spices, canned tomatoes, you can slash that part of your bill by up to 30% instantly. That is a huge, easy win.
All right, let's talk pricing. Games. You're looking at a shelf and your brain immediately zooms in on that big, bold price, right? That's exactly what they want. But the most important number on that tag is usually tiny, hidden in plain sight.
Here it is. This is your cheat code, the unit price. You have to train your eyes to ignore the big price and find this little number. It tells you the price per ounce, or per pound, or per item. It cuts through all the confusing packaging and tells you what the real deal is. Always, always compare the unit price.
Now, let's talk about something that I personally like to call the lazy tax. This is the crazy premium you pay just for a tiny bit of convenience. For instance, here's a whole pineapple for $3, and right next to it, the pre-cut version for $8.
Let's just do the math on that for a second. How long does it take to cut up a pineapple? 3 minutes, maybe? You just paid a $5 premium to save 3 minutes of your time. That's like paying someone $100 an hour to be your personal fruit chopper. Unless you're making that kind of money, it is a terrible deal.
Everybody thinks buying in bulk is the ultimate money-saving hack. And, it can be. But there's a huge trap. The average household throws away 20% of the food it buys. So buying perishables like fresh produce or dairy in bulk often just means you end up wasting in bulk. That amazing deal you got on 5 pounds of strawberries isn't a deal at all if you end up throwing 2 pounds in the trash.
Okay, we've seen the traps. We've decoded the illusions. Now for the best part. Let's talk about your defense. This is the winning playbook that puts you back in charge. Before you do anything else, you have to obey the one golden rule.
Never, ever, ever shop hungry. When your stomach is growling, your brain switches into survival mode. You're not making logical, planned decisions. You're making emotional, impulsive ones. Have a snack before you go. It sounds simple, but it is the most important step.
And here is your 3-step game plan. Number 1, shop the walls. Stick to the outer perimeter of the store. That's where all the fresh, whole foods are: produce, meat, dairy. Avoid that processed temptation maze in the middle. 2, the list is law. Make a list before you go and be disciplined. If it's not on the list, it does not go in the cart, period. And 3, try a pantry challenge. Once a month, just skip a trip. Get creative and cook with the food you already have.
You see, what this all comes down to is shifting the power dynamic. The store has a very sophisticated playbook to get inside your head and your wallet. But once you understand their psychology, the layout, the pricing, the packaging, you get your own playbook. You can turn the tables and take back complete control.
So I'll just leave you with this. You now have the playbook. You have the strategies to walk into any supermarket in the country and beat them at their own game. So the only real question is, what's the first change you're going to make?